on J Swift.
The world is changing, and so should you. Diversify your career and get local and international certification in 2 to 6 months at Distinction College. Start online and face-to-face class in medical assistant, medical lab tech, pediatrics and psychiatric nursing, ECG tech, home attendant, hairdressing, makeup, meal tech, call center, supervisory and events planning management, cashiering, media broadcasting and travel tourism. Register this week and get free subjects and free courses. No subjects required, no age limits. Visit us in Kingston, Spanish Town, Outaris and St. Elizabeth. Call us at 876-356-4167.
All in one, Discount Limited, Double V Plaza, 109 Main Street, Pineapple, Ocho Rios, has the best reduced savings and prices island-wide for electronics, women, men, and children shoes and clothing. Visit All in One Discount Limited. We also repair laptops, tablets, and cell phones, including Apple and Samsung. For more information, call us at 876-419-7263.
Entrepreneurs, now you've got more support in your corner. Introducing Sagicor Bank Business Resource Center, where entrepreneurs benefit from free training in business management, financial support and guidance from pros, as well as research capabilities. Sagicor Bank, in partnership with the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, brings you this first center of its kind for small entrepreneurs to develop and grow. Let's help you take your business to the next level of success. Contact Sagicor Bank Business Resource Center today. WhatsApp 876-997-3745.
Clarendon, check out English Variety Store at 2 Bryant's Crescent. English Variety Store have new stock, new clothes, new shoes for ladies and men. Fila Sensation shoes. We also have sheet set, new pillar, adult pampers and many more. Everybody, get up and come on down to English Variety Store, 2 Bryant's Crescent, Maypen, Clarendon, Adesso. Come on out, Milan.
Are you ready? Are you ready? From Lioness on the Rise, Daddy, times like these are below the waist. This Montegonian has given us a slew of timeless hits. She's a daughter of a ska music legend. She's outspoken. She's black conscious. She's the voice of the people. She's Ventrice Morgan.
When the road is colder, I'll be standing taller to face the darkest and the hardest of time.
This Thursday, January 13, 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. on the road to success, we will journey with internationally renowned reggae singer, Queen Ifrica.
Greetings everyone, this is Queen Ifrica. Yes, journey with me on the road to success with Keshima Francis on IRFM this Thursday the 13th of January. We could talk about some things. This is where I say, ready to paradise. You think them nice? Yeah man, tune in, IRFM to the world.
That's Road to Success, the journey geared to inspire, uplift, educate, motivate, and entertain. This and every Thursday inside the Easy Skanking.
Rise, get so you rise. Them the ones see you rise. Rise, get so you rise.
Entrepreneurs, now you've got more support in your corner. Introducing Sagicor Bank Business Resource Center, where entrepreneurs benefit from free training in business management, financial support and guidance from pros, as well as research capabilities. Sagicor Bank, in partnership with the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, brings you this first center of its kind for small entrepreneurs to develop and grow. Let's help you take your business to the next level of success. Contact Sagicor Bank Business Resource Center today. WhatsApp 876-997-3745.
From the creators of Money Fridays, we introduce to you another radio first. Grab back.
Stay locked into IRFM on the 107 this and every Monday in the wake-up call for Grab Bag, and you could win up to $50,000 cash weekly, plus other prizes.
All you have to do is call IRFM when you hear it's Grab Bag time. Tell the announcer which bag to dip into, and what comes up is yours, just like that.
It could be a gift from a sponsor. It could be $10,000. It could be $30,000. It could be a whopping $50,000. Or it could be Sorry, try again.
But if you don't have a representing hand in the bag, you don't have a chance.
Grab Bag is brought to you courtesy of Tiles R Us Limited, Ballards Valley, St. Elizabeth. For all your tiles and bathroom fixtures, call 965-1896. Tiles R Us.
Tad's Records and the new George Nooks album titled Through It All, produced by George Nooks exclusively for Tad's Records and streaming on all digital platforms worldwide. Get your copy today. George Nooks, Through It All, and Tad's Records, the ultimate reggae and gospel experience. Now let's get inspired.
Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God.
Good afternoon again. Welcome back here inside the Easy Skanking on your 107s. Don't forget that coming up 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. on the road to success. Today we will journey with Queen Ifrica.
Reggae, radio,
My skin is black. My arms are long. My hair is woolly. My back is strong. Strong enough to take the pain inflicted again and again. What do they call me? My name is on steroids. My name is on steroids. My skin is yellow. My hair is long. Between two worlds, I do belong. My daddy was rich and white. Oh, it's my mama lived one night. What do they call me? My name is Aphonia. My name is Aphonia. My skin is tan. My hair is fine.
Queen Ifrica's tribute to Nina Simone.
My mouth like wine.
radio.
Those little girls are mine. Anyone who has money to buy. What do they call me? My name is Sweet Thing. I say my name is Sweet Thing. My name is Sweet Thing. My skin is brown. My mother is soft. I'll kill the first fool I see. Let's have a chat. One of these kinky reggae nights. I'm inviting you over. Looking forward to the conversation. Yeah, one-on-one, still the best way to communicate. Eager to see you. Don't have to be inside. We could chill out in the yard.
From the sun starts set, always listen till sun risen, and live as I am heard. A more love to listen, captivated by your words, like a sentence to prison. Every bar in every verse, no detail, no listening.
Action speaks louder than words, not in all cases. Words can take you very high places. Verbal stimulation,
Intellectual attraction awakens the right senses. So I love it when we talk like this. Holistic seduction, Somehow you always seem to know what is the right subject. The true station lasts for hours, time is no object. Every second invested build up more interest. Empress, I love the beauty of your thought process. Cause I can see your mind, and I know why I'm yours. Your voice is so divine, your topic so diverse. Your volume more in time than neck and all in your verse. Your description so defined, that I get so immersed.
Seat up with the eye, sit back up, not that is how me sum it up. More than enough vibes that flow between the two of us. True friendship don't need more than a little just. Crystal clear, no parables. Action speaks louder than words, not in all cases. Words can take you very high places. Verbal stimulation,
Intellectual attraction awakens the right senses. So I love it when we talk like this. Holistic seduction,
Caught up in the essence of the reasoning. The ambience of nature puts a sparkle in the evening. Air is filled with meaning. Don't ever want this moment to end. So we pay no attention to the night getting older. No worries, we got each other's shoulder. Good to get together just to talk about forever. I will bring the topic, then when we fit talk about. I admire, said that I know walk out. Reasoning tight, energy no drawn out. Plus a few other things that I would have to point out. Action speaks louder than words, not in all cases.
Have just a minute to go for those of you who are just joining us. It's all about Road to Success, the journey. It is season 4, and of course, you know, we kick off season 4 today with Queen Ifrica, 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. right here. Internationally renowned reggae singer and philanthropist.
Are you ready? 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 When the roll is called up, I'll be standing taller to face the darkest and the hardest of times. We'll be taking care of all the children thereof. But if it's required, we'll be on the front line. You can call me by my name. I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, I'll just say, are you ready? 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 When the roll is called up, I'll be standing taller to face the darkest and the hardest of times.
Ventrice Morgan, better known as Queen Ifrica, is an internationally renowned reggae singer. As a philanthropist, Ifrica is involved in several outreach programs for children in Jamaica's inner city. Through her music, she tackles issues of child abuse, violence, and crime. This lioness continues to rise. She's a daughter of ska legend. She's outspoken. She's black conscious. Queen Ifrica is the voice of the people. Queen, welcome to Road to Success, the journey, and thank you so much for taking us on your journey.
Hey, beautiful. Good to be here.
Look at you glowing as usual. Queen, look, before the interview ends, we really have to find out your secret. We know that you eat healthy and we know that you work out, but we want the real secret in addition to because you stay flawless, man.
Very much.
But you know, Queen, we've always seen you on many platforms speaking your truth and, you know, just lobbying for the people, whatever the issue is. But we want to get to know Queen Ifrica today. So, you know, what was it like for Ventrice Morgan growing up in between St. Mary and Montego Bay?
All right. So I heard you said earlier that I'm a Montegonian by heart, but I was born in Spanish Town.
Mm-hmm.
So at 2 months, I was taken to my grandparents in St. Mary by my aunts.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up to the age of around 9 when my mother resurfaced in my life and took me to Montego Bay. And that's where I continued, you know, growing up from. So a lot of people who really knew me from Montego Bay because of how early I went there as a child.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Tell me something, Queen. As an adult, you're very outspoken and you talk your mind. As a child, were you like this? I mean, were you always outspoken and did you get in trouble for it?
You know, funny enough, over the holidays, some of my family came by to cook food and stuff, and I haven't seen my auntie for a while because of COVID. And so I wanted them to tell Rebel, you know, a little bit about me as a child, you know, because he know me, he really know me as a child. And one of the things my cousin Anne-Marie told him was that I was the quiet one. I was
no way.
Where Keshima, you know, my grandparents named me Goody, you know. My nickname.
Gosh.
Area and go to Killancally, big up all those in Killancally listening right now. If you go to St. Mary and go to Killancally and say Goody, everybody would know that it's Queen Ifrica talking because they know me as Goody. So my grandparents named me Goody because they said I just laid in the crib and sucked my finger while everybody was fussing.
The first official Goody.
Yeah, you talk to me, girl.
Right? Now, I know that you also grew up with a Rastafarian background and household.
Yeah.
What values did your parents pass on to you that still resonates with you today?
You know, with as rocky as it was, the first thing that come to me was self-value.
Mm-hmm.
Value. Like, being aware of self was something very strongly that my mother more than ever believed in. You know, she was very much aware of self and what it really means to be aware of self as well. So I could say that.
Mm-hmm. Take us back to your school years. Is there a significant moment that, you know, that stands out to you when you reflect on high school and primary or prep school when just looking back at your school years?
You know what I can first say? It was the seriousness of the dedication of the teachers towards us getting educated.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, like Miss Simit, Miss Walters, Miss Allen, or some of those names will come to my mind right away as I remember early back in St. Mary days when it was Arley's days, it was Rosebank, Arley's days. But just how serious they took homework and just knowing what you're supposed to know. I can never forget that, you know, how involved those teachers were in terms of you getting it where education was concerned.
And I know you said that, as a child you were quiet and stuff, but can you recall at what point during your childhood or young adult years that you actually found your own voice and wasn't afraid to speak out for yourself?
Boy, girl, me I fight for myself from me I go school in a Keshima. Like, I was picked on a lot. Like, I was called, all right, in the community that I come from, right? Kilamkali community. I was called the ugliest girl in the world, As a little girl, I looked forward to coming in from school in the evenings and to have big adults as I would break the corner. In those communities, you have what is called a square, like a outer square, And so you have the shops in the square and you'd have to walk past all these shops on your way home. And I had to look forward to being called Miss World. Not for a good, when I come to something, actually become this Miss World. Yeah. I was like, okay, he was predicting, but not the right thing. Because when I was growing up, to have a flat nose, I was called Flat Bridge, Bammy Presser, all the names that you could find that could make a girl feel bad about herself. I was called those names by family members, community members, and in school. But one of the things that I can safely tell you though, Keshima, that me never yet looking at the mirror and feel like me need something about myself. Like, I always love myself. I always think there's something about me. And that was from I was a little girl. So that's why you see, I always love to tell people that loving yourself is not just feeling it in the moment, but it's actually knowing what it means to love yourself. So it does, people will say whatever they want to say about you, but you knowing you and who you are makes the world a difference. So I had that kind of childhood, coming up, and it blossomed into this beautiful swan here. Oh, I'm not hearing you, Keshima. I'm sorry.
Oh, you hearing me now? Sorry about that. You're right. So I'm saying that is just really phenomenal. But, as children can be brutal. And I know even though you said when you look in...
Adults. It was adults.
It was adults. More adults?
Yes.
Wow. So, how were you? Did you have a support system or somebody that you can talk to? Because even though looking in the mirror and still feeling good about yourself and still loving yourself, as a youngster, you must have had a moment when you just feel like you need that cushion. Did you have a support system when adults were being so ugly?
Funny enough, yesterday I was showing Rebel a picture of my grandfather, Mr. Gibb. He was my tower of strength. Like, he used to have this thing that he used to say to me when I was very miserable and would come to him about something or another. He would say, don't worry yourself, you're the girl for the money. See it? And that meant a lot, because it was him. I never had, okay, so it was 4 of us as cousins growing up, and I never had either of my parents around. So for me, it was, my cousins had their mom, even though their dads weren't there. They had their moms. So I had to share their mom, So my grandfather was that kind of a father figure for me I have mom, I have my auntie, and I have my grandmother who takes care of the female side of me. But where the daddy side was concerned, that was my grandfather always, putting confidence in me that, yeah, they're picking on you, but don't worry, you'll be the one, and it's different.
So when you move now with mommy to Montego Bay, still at a young age, what was that transition like for you?
It was very confusing, because I really didn't know my mother, and it was the first time that I was knowing her. And then right after knowing her, she convinced me to go to Montego Bay with her to meet my biological father, who is Derek Morgan. But when we got there, she changed her mind. She said she didn't want to see me. And so I was supposed to spend maybe like 2 weeks or so with her because it was school time. So I think it was around sometime in the 80s. And I was supposed to spend, school time, holiday time and go back to St. Mary. But then she decided that I had to stay with her. And so I ended up, living with her. So it was a, an intentional idea for me to her. I went to spend the holiday basically and ended up living with her. And so I just grew up around her from there.
What did it do to you when you're probably building up your confidence to meet, your dad, and in the 80s, of course, your superstar father, and when your mommy changed her mind, what did that disappointment do to you in that moment?
I can say those were very confusing years for me, because I think every girl wants their dad in their life at some point. And I never even begin to experience what it felt like to have a dad, as sharing people's fathers and grandfathers and stuff. I never had that kind of a biological connection. So that was missing in a great sense. And it make a girl, it's a big void. And if you notice with a lot of us as women who don't have the father something there, we kind of spiral into a lot of different directions than girls who have their dads around, just to put it short.
Absolutely. No, at what point during your early years were you able to meet your dad, and what was that conversation like with you? I'm sure you probably have a whole heap of questions.
Oh boy, I tell you. So I met him at a stage show for the first time.
No way. Wow.
The first time I'm seeing this man is at a stage show in Montego Bay that my mother was supposed to accompany me to. And then she decided that she didn't want to see him. She wasn't going anymore. And I was like, what the heck? I'm going. I decided that I am going to see this man that from I was a child, everybody's saying that, "They're and your father, you look like him." So, I wanted to see this man. And so I went to the show myself the night and told the people at the gate that I come to see Derek Morgan.
They let you in?
They sent somebody to tell him at the backstage because he was on the show. And they sent somebody to tell him in the backstage, and him sent a next man, when named Derek like himself, to come because all of these people know about me.
Yes.
All years, I know that my mother was around him trying to get the bus and so.
Right.
And so they took me to him, and I saw this man sitting with my splitting image in a chair, looking down, well dressed to the bone, like so dressed. And I was like, all right, yeah, he's my father, and I said hi to him, and he said hi to me, and I went to his hotel room after. And he basically told me that my mother hid me from him, and he couldn't make his wife know about me. This typical stories a Jamaican man tell when on the road, that kind of something. So I was a victim. I'm so sympathetic towards children who born in situations like that, because it's not your father. You shouldn't end up without your father because he was married and had many kids when he impregnated your mother, and a lot of it comes from generation to generation, and we become. So I was just one of those kids who happened to have a celebrity father, but don't enjoy it. You know what I mean?
But Queen, how old were you when you met him, and were you able to process the information that you're getting and put the pieces together? Because here it is, you've been yearning for your dad, didn't have that, have to just work with the situation, and then finally at a stage show.
maybe around maybe 22. So I was that. I'm having Maru already.
So how old were you when you realized that you can really sing and you have this talent and you want to become an entertainer? Who planted that dream in your heart, and how old were you when you realized?
So when I realized that I could sing was when in St. Mary, when you start to sweep up the yard. It was sweep up the yard days, right?
Yes.
So when we used to sweep the yard now, back in those days, I think it was Dolly Partner and this guy that did a song called Fine Tooth Comb. Baby, when I met you, there was peace on earth. I set out to get you with a fine tooth comb as I walk inside. There was something. So I remember that as my song as a little girl. I was sweeping in the yard and singing it very loudly, and I could hear myself and could say to myself, I sounded good, but I could also hear my adults around me saying, "Come here!"
Yeah.
So I had no time to think whether or not there was something there. I just knew I loved singing as a little girl. I was always singing, not on any choir or anything. I just loved to sing. But then after going to Montego Bay and going around Rasta and the Rasta banquets and stuff like that, my friends started to hear me chant in the tabernacle and they started to think that, there's a little bit more there than chanting. And so when we have the banquets and stuff, I'd go on stage and everybody would be like, there's something there. So I was really mostly encouraged, to do it. And I think the inspiration was already in my heart, but it was pushed by people around me along the way.
Wow. Now, by 1995, you entered a local talent contest in Montego Bay. Take us back to this defining moment on your musical journey.
Right. So it is actually one like that, because remember in 94, Garnet Silk all of us was loving this Garnet Silk here. And then by 95, he died, and it was like, all my friends now, when we're coming up, we wanted to do music, and so we're always in the streets. The Eisenegger we call it now. Back then, Chinese Eye them and Major Lion them and them youth then, and Montego Bay, Fire Lion, and Concord, all those youths. We're always in the streets, just having fun around music, and so they used to have this popular contest in Montego Bay, because I still think that Montego Bay is one of our most, aside from Clarendon, talented parishes. May I tell you, talent there everywhere, in everything, from dancing, big up Daima them, just from all of that, all of them, real talent. And so competitions like that have been happening in Montego Bay for a long time, and as introduced by friends again to enter one that would get you to go on some fest some fest. And so I entered at Walter's place on Montego Bay, Bottom Road, and I won the night from singing some Garnet Silk songs as well, and I was so fortunate to get to go on some fest that year and perform 1:30 the night. Elise Kelly, big up yourself, Elise, was
of course
that night. And I also performed, I always love to say it, because no performing artists can't say them something. So them perform after Buju Banton 1:30 the night. That's what happened for real,
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal, and I sang a song that I actually wrote the night Garnet Silk died, not knowing that I had such a great talent in writing. I was just really feeling bad, and that song came out of me, and I sang it on the show, and it was very well received. It was the biggest crowd I've ever seen in my life. When I came out that morning, when Elise called me out and I saw the crowd, and it was really something. I knew I belonged on that stage, though.
No, after that electrifying moment, no, Queen Ifrica, and you go back into your space, and the stage lights are off now. What did you say to yourself in the moment, and what was that mission like to because I'm sure you wanted to pursue it now even more. What was that vibe like?
What I could agree with you and say yes, we did want to pursue it more, but I think one of the things Rebel said to me over the years is that him kind of give thanks and me not really, or never give thanks. Him say him wish me did really understand how talented me be, because me really not, me really not push it. You understand what I mean? It's like when I don't remember if I went to any studio or I was trying to get on any future shows, but what I was always indoor was a kind of readiness, like if somebody should say, Queen, so we're going to do a thing and we want you to pass through. I was always ready, but I just are going to sing over somebody's song or create something, So I think I was more ready for a stage in opposed to preparing for it, or pushing towards.
So roughly around 98, so now you were a part of Rebels Flames crew. How did this... Say that again, Queen?
I met him in 98. I met him that year.
98, right. So how did this collaboration impact your career?
Very interesting, because a lot of times female get bashing, so them go around artists and sleep with them and I saw them boss. But in a Rebel case, it was a very spiritual thing, because in 1998, I went to a wedding on the 26th of December. In Iron Shore with some friends. And when the wedding was over, we came back to the Iron Shore gas station and we wanted to decide if we were going to come to Sting that night. So we were going to leave Montego Bay that night and just come and Sting, just come enjoy Sting and come back, right? So all of my friends, yo, was Sting, yo, was Sting, Me, I said, God must start Sting at night and later after 10, because I have hot clubs to go in and so. So I was just looking, I look down the road. Anyway, push come to shove, my other friends, them say, them are going to Sting. So one of my friends now, who was dating somebody in Tony Rebel Camp at the time, said to me that, that them having a show for Garnet Silk in Johnson. And I was like, that's where I'm going. I don't care about who's going to Sting. That's where me going, right? And so, 7 of us as girls ended up going there that night. Christine was supposed to get us in because her boyfriend left the ticket and stuff. And so we waited at the gate, got into the show. Christine, as usual, went right down my name on the paper to be called up. I was just enjoying myself in the audience. Then I heard my name, and I was like, Christine. So, I swear. And then I went on stage, and I did some Garnet Silk song, and the whole little crowd in the place just gathered around the stage. So I was like, shit, that sound like Garnet Silk on stage, seeing. And when I came off stage now, an artist that was in Flames Battalion at the time said that he wanted me to meet Rebel. And so we walk in to meet Rebel now, and he was like, Rebel, why you there? And then Rebel was like, what's up? And then he's like, may I bring someone to meet you? And then Rebel is like, the only person who I want to meet is the girl I met here a while ago. And he's like, yeah, man, I bring
mad.
And we met, and he was like, yo, that sound like Garnet. So for me, in that moment, to hear Tony Rebel, where we say, I am responsible for Garnet Silk, and so I tell me, say, as a woman, me sound like, that was like heaven in itself right there, And him said that Rebel Salute was greatly advanced in terms of preparation, but if I could get transportation to come to the show, he would have one of his artists call me up on the show, and I was like, what, Rebel Salute? Are you serious? Don't say no. And I came, and that's how I performed on Rebel Salute for the first time in Mandeville, and it was magic. And the rest is history. Here I am still, with this brethren, and being so grateful to him to, in terms of how he has helped to show me this business of music.
And that's kind of leading me into my next question, because Rebel is so rounded. I mean, he's not just an entertainer, he's an entrepreneur, a promoter, a producer, cultural activist, and so many more to him. What was the most valuable lesson you would say that you've learned from Tony Rebel?
Walking what you talk, doing the walk.
Mm-hmm.
I learned to do the walk from watching Rebel do it, because I could say to him that, I want to stop smoke, and him said the only way you can stop smoke is when you do it.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't smoked for going near to 40 odd years now.
Wow.
And as a Rasta man, it would be expected of a Tony Rebel who promote a Rebel salute with herb curve and the holistic with marijuana and stuff like that, to have a big spliff in his mouth telling you this. But it's going 40 odd years now since he hadn't put a spliff in his mouth to smoke it. And he doesn't drink. So when Rebel Salute is a festival that says no alcohol, no profanity, no lewd behavior, that's what the man does in his day-to-day life. So even if you're a person that finds an excuse to do wrongs, and he's not perfect, I'm not sitting here saying I found an angel of God. I am saying I found a man that understands what it means to be disciplined and to be patient and to really and truly fear God. He's a very God-fearing individual, so he keeps his thing clear of corruption in all the sense of the word. And those, I think, are really good examples for any society to emulate, and for anyone who have the opportunity to be around individuals like those, to really laud them to be that example, to say proactive is better than reactive,
Absolutely. Queen, we're coming down to cash pot, so we're going break for cash pot, because you know how that go. And we will continue the conversation, because I never forget the first time I saw Queen Ifrica. It was Rebel Salute down in Mandeville. I think it was 2004 or so, when we just start work at IRA. Full white. I mean, I say, yeah, girl. It go way back. But of course, to our listeners, listen up your top draw dollars. Pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick, and cash pot. Lunchtime draws up next.
When me use Island Fresh with aloe vera, it make me skin smoother. So if you want to feel better and smell fresher, use Island Fresh with aloe vera.
Manufactured by Island Products, 934-0666.
The time is...
It is now 12:59. We are standing by, so listen up your top draw dollars. Pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick, and cash pot. Lunchtime draws up next.
Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow. I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this. No, ma. I don't need this, I don't need this, need this. Them a top phone, smile for me, Jamaica. Not evil, God, we not do it for. Remember, we just escape Maria and Irma. All we do is increase further. Right now, show up on the radar. Like say Jamaicans are pagan, but me can't bet you anyway. In the world, we are the nicest human. So big up to the trench down heroes, and that's why all our feel you. Just if it increase more than that, we know it would have sweet you. Mr. Prime Minister, Jamaica's cutest leader. The people them send me to you, sir, them have a gully for your jumping. Right, somebody need to save on ya.
I'm Jolene, and welcome to this afternoon's Supreme Ventures live game draw. Now, before we begin, here's a quick look at our mid-morning winning numbers. Remember, all Supreme Ventures live game draws are being supervised by the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Commission and observed by the independent auditing firm PwC. Now, let's put some money in your top draw. This afternoon's jackpot is $600,000. Here are the winning top draw numbers, and good luck. And the first top draw number for this afternoon is 17. The second top draw number is 15. The third top draw number is coming down is number 6. The fourth top draw number is 20. And the final top draw number for $600,000 is 16. And now let's pick your play with our dollars game. I hope you're feeling lucky, so get those tickets out. And the first winning dollars number for this afternoon is 35. The second winning dollars number, guess we're counting down to 34. Following 34, we have 29. And coming down slowly but surely is number 5. Following 5 is 22. I hope you have your tickets out because here comes number 14. And following 14 is 11. Next up is 26. I wonder what's next. It's coming down. 15. And following 15 is 13. And I'm ready to wrap the dollars game up with numbers 3. And the final dollars number is 23. Now for some easy winnings with our Pick 2 game. Let's play. And the first Pick 2 number is 32. The second Pick 2 number is 17. Once again, the winning Pick 2 numbers are 32 and 17. Guess what? The Mega Pick is here to stay. Now you can continue to mega for bigger winnings with Pick 4 and Pick 3. Stay tuned. One Mega Ball draw will be done for Pick 3, Pick 4, Hot Pick, and Cash Box. Up next, you can play 3 ways. It's our Pick 3 game. And the first Pick 3 number for this afternoon is 3. The second Pick 3 number coming up is 2. And the third and final Pick 3 number is 9. Once again, the winning Pick 3 numbers are 3, 2, and 9. It's time to top your winnings, so get ready for Pick 4. And the first Pick 4 number is 3. The second Pick 4 number, what will it be? 9. The third Pick 4 number is 5. And the fourth and final Pick 4 number for this afternoon is 5 again. Once again, the winning Pick 4 numbers are 3, 9, 5, and 5. It's easy for wins. Let's heat things up with Hot Pick. And the winning Hot Pick number is 1. Congratulations to all Hot Pick winners. Again, the winning number is 1. Cash Pot Money Train I run every week is a mystery prize. But this week you can win $295 for every $10 winning Cash Pot bets. So board the train and collect the winnings. Let's get ready to play our Cash Pot game for Thursday, January 13, 2022. You live to play it, but can you win it? Get ready to be a big Cash Pot winner. Let's see what the winning Cash Pot number will be. And this afternoon's winning Cash Pot number is 1. Congratulations to all Cash Pot winners. Again, the winning number is 1. It's now time for some mega winnings, so good luck. And what do we have for the afternoon draw? It's coming up. And the Mega Ball has been selected. Go Mega 6 times per day for more chances to win big. Again, the winning Cash Pot number is 1. The lucky mark is Duppy. And the Mega Ball was selected for Pick 3, Pick 4, Cash Box, and Hot Pick. Now let's take a look at this afternoon's winning numbers. Congratulations to everyone who won. Join us again at 3 p.m. for more games you love to play. I'm Jolene. Have yourself a supreme afternoon.
Hope you were a big winner. Play your favorite Supreme Ventures games every day and tune in for our live draw 6 times a day at 8:30 a.m., 10:30 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8:25 p.m. on this station. Supreme Ventures, making winners every day.
That was the lunchtime top draw dollars, Pick 2, Pick 3, Pick 4, Hot Pick, and Cash Pot draws. Congratulations to all of today's winners. Join us again at 3 p.m. for another chance to win in Hot Pick and Cash Pot special pot draws.
Notice them walk ill with joy. Well, if a rocker turned us. The wickedest thing all the talk, them a talk, they don't give a heck about us. The silent majority you watch, and so the talk make the people them feel good. Brighten up when life make it match the sunshine. If you really love the poor, then the sun fit the spot at them. way bigger, especially that on the love feature. But talking alone,
If you're just joining us, it's all about Road to Success, the journey. We are journeying with Queen Ifrica. Now, Queen, you have a very strong stage presence. Your delivery stands out, and you have a distinct sound. But do you remember the process it took you to develop your skills and kind of hone your craft?
Yeah, again, Tony Rebel, I was the shyest thing. A
No
lot of
way.
people don't.
Quiet and shy.
Trust me, I rate sunshine, right? Remember when we went to Europe and I took sunshine with me to Europe, seeing? And I was doing this big show in England, and them time them just a bus, that kind of bus there. And then at the backstage, and it was sunshine, who really come say, just relax, just calm, just stand up here, because she could have still say I was
nervous.
I was so, because right now, if I can do a show in front of maybe 100,000, but to do it in front of 10, I'm shitting bricks, I'm telling you, right? So it's when I go on stage though, I just know say yeah, right. I not flop myself. So that's how I'm sure. You know what I mean? So I gain my composure. But actually I think every artist can tell you, say, just before you go on stage, them butterfly them man and normal.
Them real. Wow. But Daddy released in 2010. You're one.
I'm saying, wow.
I know, right? It's been many moons, but you're always one to talk about some serious issues, and you find a way how to put it in song, and you teach, you bring awareness to enough issues that a lot of persons are conveniently silent about. But you have said before that this song angered some of your fellow entertainers. Were you appalled by their reaction, and how did you deal with the situation to know that something, so disgusting is happening, and you're using your platform and your forum to raise awareness, and your co-workers, your fellow entertainers, some are angered by this issue?
I mean, pick up an answer. It's a whole heap of different, and even though all of them look the same, it's a whole heap of different ants run out of it, and then all of them buy it either. You understand? It's the one who panic the most about this, who's digging up my ants nest kind of thing. So me just look on it like that to say, if you're offended so much, and you're not offended from the point of view of the mass, in terms of the majority is in support of the idea of calling out these predators and their predatory behavior. So if we are musicians who are supposed to be the gatekeepers for people, it doesn't matter, it doesn't mean that we don't have our own personal experiences, or maybe might even be a predator myself too, but at the same time I want to do the right thing by saying it is not good to be a predator. I am one, So if I'm going to do a song like that, and you are going to be so offended by it to say, why would you want to do that right now when people trying to forget about what they did? It doesn't matter. You can forget, it can become a memory. It doesn't mean that it didn't happen. So you have to just accept that it did. If you accept that it did and accept the role that you play in it, then you wouldn't have to feel so bad if you hear somebody talk about it. And so disconnect was from there, so to say, well, you're not necessarily remorseful, you're more afraid if you're worried about a song like this.
Queen, can I tell you something? Whenever an issue arises, it doesn't matter what it is. I personally await your perspective, whether it is through the music or a statement, because I'm sure you're going to bring the fire and you're going to talk your truth.
Yeah.
But have you ever thought of representing the people in an official capacity?
Boy, they would have to go make one new house of parliament. They would have to go make one. Because it come like, no matter what your intentions are, as soon as you move towards the formalizing of you now having that power to exercise these ideas and to bring them to realities, that's when the veil royal step in. It's like everybody that goes veil royal become veiled, and you can't believe that these are the same people who you saw with this kind of potential, like in Floyd Green. I've always over the years saw that this youth had the potential as a politician to do a little bit more than the eloquent talking and really to do some action. I'm disappointed to see the Prime Minister use him to promote NIDS, because aside from we need to have a national ID and all of these things, NIDS is questionable. And while everybody went silent on it, it is still questionable. So you're going to use a Floyd Green because of his eloquence and the fact that he can speak so connectively with the people just to promote NIDS. So this is what we're saying, use these things for what they are supposed to be used for.
No, Queen, as always, I've been saying it from the interview start that you're very outspoken. You're not afraid to share your moral beliefs, likes and dislikes. Have you ever said or done anything that caused a corporate sponsor or an event promoter to say, pull the plug on a Queen Ifrica, and how did you deal with that situation?
All right, so Grand Gala, everything started with me and plug pulling. Since I decided to go to the Grand Gala and speak on the legalization of marijuana and whether or not homosexuality is or whether or not Jamaica is as homophobic as everybody's trying to make it out to be. And you could say, in a sense, I sacrificed my career because of what came after. Because every plugging and every non-association with Queen Ifrica came after that. But I can say in 2022 that it was all worth it. It was all worth it to stand in the truth of what our culture represents and who we are as a people. Many products shy away, even artists, Keshima, shy away from associated with Queen Ifrica because they think that society is going to not want to deal with them because of who they see me as a homophobic or something like that. And it is unfortunate that artists like myself, because I never stand alone in this struggle. I know that there are many artists like myself, and I end up come there with one who stand in their, through it all. We see that Tony Rebel keeps a rebel salute and say no alcohol, no profanity, no matter who you are. This is what I'm standing for. And we have seen where the world, because people naturally have that kind of human gratitude towards who they are as human beings towards each other. They love it for that. And I will forever stand in that truth. And I will forever stand in the fact that people, you're not trying to be God or trying to prove that you can do these things and suffer after. But if you are the one choosing to be that example, I am not going to complain, and it was unfortunate that while I did that deliberately, Keshima, it was a deliberate thing I did. I did not, I went to the rehearsal and I told the band not to play Keep It To Yourself because I know that they would censor it. And I had to get that message out because it was in the time when they had introduced these homosexual books into our curriculum without the knowledge of our parents, because them say we parents, them dunce, And so every artist was busy signing compassionate letters saying that they're not saying anything bad towards the gay because they choose money over morality. But we never do that, and we now boast about not doing it. We just do it because it is the right thing to do. And so a lot of corporate entities, them not endorse Queen Ifrica because me now shake out every part of me and tell little girl them how to bow down and all of that kind of something. Me, I empower young girls to stand up and love themselves and don't have to be drunkards and prostitutes. So I'm not going to get no praise for that. And it's all right. I'll still continue to tell young ladies that it's okay, even if you get raped, molested, sodomized, whatever it is that happened to you in your life, you can rise above it and become whoever and whatever you want to be in life. You don't have to end up becoming a go-go or combo boss. Not to say that combo boss is doing that because she went through that. But just for example of what Combo Boss is seeing, and young girls in the inner city to know, say, you're not just bow down for men and be there whenever time they're ready to have sex because them know, say, they get gang rape or something bad did happen to you. But no, say, you can't come be a Keshima Francis, you can't come be a Queen Ifrica, you can't come be any one of these females that just see who have become something of themselves. You also can do that, regardless of what you've been through. So I will always stand on that side until then, you know.
And it's interesting that you brought the conversation there because, you know, you have also spoken of, you know, your struggles and how were you able to find the strength to turn trauma into resilience?
And I started speaking about it now because of the fact that I know that there are so many thousands of youths, young girls and boys who are raped daily and no one sees them. Me started getting raped before I left St. Mary, and I told her that I left St. Mary at 9, seeing, and I can remember as a little girl being violated in those ways, and I had to live in my teenage life being violated into my young adult life being violated as well. So I've been through all the levels of violation where sexual violence is concerned. So when I speak on these things, I don't have to come tell you that it happened to me in order to speak on it. I must be able to share with somebody that have been through some very dark and dirty experiences. But that was not who I was. That was what happened to me. And I am not what happened. I am more than what happened to me. And if I can understand that and what that means, then it means that I can live another day without looking in the mirror and thinking that I deserved what happened to me or I played a role in it. Because none of us can determine what our life's journey, as your show suggests, none of us can determine what our life's journey is. But how we prepare ourselves to go on that journey is what allows us to be able to park up the vehicle and come out of it and say, well, I go have a reach. You see what I say? Yeah.
As the phoenix rises from the fire, truth will be the only bastion of justice. You hear that? Every day you wake up, it's another one. Another rape, another kill, another con, another outrage, another plan. It's becoming a phenomenon. Culture, they say, tradition.
Now, Predator's Paradise, this song that I just played at a very crucial and fitting time, and the song is coming at a time in Jamaica when people need to hear it. The visuals are also very riveting that accompany the voice. What do you want Jamaicans to understand from this riveting art of truth that you have created for us about a very real situation that continues to plague the island?
So Jamaica itself, the place, the people, is a paradise, heavenly people. So we are people of God. Jamaicans are really, truly people of God. But then there's another paradise here. A predator's paradise, Keshima. And this paradise has been existing since the arrival of our colonizers on this island. That disrupting of our tranquil, you know, and nothing has been done. The only thing that has been done towards it since 284 years was the Prime Minister going in a fit and saying that there's no sovereign Maroons here. So even if the sovereignty of the Maroons are questionable based on the deal they signed with the British, and a lot of it was under pressure, it does not take away from the legacy that this treaty represents, which leads us to not understanding why there's an observation, there's a big section of our society that is observing another section kill itself. And it seems like this section of society will be happy for it. because they'll have full control of the place. The rebelliousness, the unruliness as to which they attach it to will be gone. So they use Vibes Cartel, them wire them up, put them in the prison, put Ninja Man them in a prison, put Family them in a prison, probably a work from Popcorn them now, working on the next set of youths coming, singing the same type of songs that is promoting this division. I will kill you by later if you violate my mother this morning. And there's no one there in the middle now to say, come on, guys, this is not the legacy that our forefathers and our foremothers were fighting for. They were fighting for that peace that we were used to, that oneness, that togetherness, that sense of Meliko Matalawa, that national pride, the patriotism. That is what our ancestors were fighting for. And so with the lack of that in our society and a deliberateness to push that away, we are now seeing the fruits of that. And no one is accepting that it is that legacy that has led us to this predator's paradise that we are now seeing, in opposed to the paradise that Miss Lou and Bob Marley and all these greats, Marcus Garvey's, that were from here, that were used to the world. We can do it for ourselves, but there's an element there that is pushing against that in the hardest way. So it's now in the hands of every single Jamaican to understand that you are distracted from your truth in this time, and you need to come back to it and really look into yourself as a people and see if the way that we are behaving now is really conducive to the future that we really say we want for our youths, you know?
Wow. You know, Queen, one of the things about being able, being outspoken and unafraid to speak your truth, or, you know, regulate others and call them out on certain ills, is that it comes with a lot of criticism and heavy backlash. Especially in the digital age where anybody can just, with their smartphone, go on social media and have an opinion, uninformed opinion, and just spill their guts. Do you find that because, like, you're this constant voice of reason that some people may hold you to perfection, and how do you deal with that?
Yeah, you know, and it's so good that you ask a question like that, because I always love to say it's not about speaking from a place of being perfect and having all the answers, but it could be a victim crying out to say, if you try this would probably help me. So for me personally, Keshima, I use my personal struggles to identify with those who have similar ones. And so this is why you could get a predator's paradise now. Because Predator's Paradise is saying rape, murder, mayhem has now become the order of the day, while the victims are becoming more, and the victims are now becoming predators themselves. And so there's a spillover in the society. One of our police officers said it yesterday, that it is not anger that we're suffering from, but it's bitterness. And there could be some truth there, because there's so much things that happen in families and communities that spill over, and there's no peacemaking in the middle. That could very well be one of the reasons why and if we can't, Keshima, stop talking and really, really come to the table, because everything that people want to establish in Jamaica, if a product come here tomorrow morning and one bus, them know how to roll out. And between by 24 hours, it's on the lips of every Jamaican. But there's no method for the poor, no method for the youths. Then we just kill them one another, and somebody gonna try to convince me, say, it's not a deliberate attempt to rid this country of its authentic and indigenous people who really belong here, to let in strangers to enjoy this beautiful place that we have down here. Jamaica people, me hear the Prime Minister asking you guys to wake up. What may I tell you? I don't know if it's the fast food and the alcohol then where everybody a drink up, but something need to go on where the awareness of the people. Jamaica people need to come back to that place of where we were in terms of resisting against the system. When did we become so comfortable with these things happening to our people, and everybody just driving them big vehicle and behaving like, yeah man, then soon kill off themselves and we have the place? Me can't happy about that.
Mm-hmm. And you speak with such passion, Queen, always, whether you're talking or in your song, and we know that you feel deeply. And do you foresee then that we as a people will have to take it back to the foundation, like bring it back to self, like be more grounded in as it relates to who we are, because so many persons just going around and this selfie culture, this age of show and tell across social media platforms is not helping us to be connected with truly who we are.
And I just love to use that to agree further with you by saying to these new influencers that we have, one of the things that's happening now is a lot of our children that were born here, or a lot of parents that left here and went overseas, their children are now coming back to be change makers in our society. But they have only come up on what they heard about our culture. They don't really know it on the ground. And so they are now responsible for introducing a new way of life, a new way of seeing yourself, a new way of operating to our young people. But they are still on this third world level on the island where they're getting up to a 3-camera phone in an inner city with a lot of garbage around them. They have to be finding a little corner to do the selfie from. It does something to them when they hang up from there. So we want these influencers now to use the opportunity to not just sell to these vulnerable minds who are now so curious to be online and to be looking around, but sell them back some of themselves, sell them back some of what you grew up on and know about Jamaica. I notice everybody wants to now say, I'm Jamaican, my parents are Jamaican, I have Jamaican roots, I have Jamaican connection. But nobody wants to use that Jamaican connection to associate with what's happening over where the vibes come from. We are in the inner city and the rural communities where the real people are. So we're saying, do back for them as much as they have done for you to make you so proud to call yourself Jamaican. Because this is not who we are as a people. And somebody contributed to this mayhem. And so therefore, to be open and to be honest and to be willing enough to say, yes, we all erred in how this happened. Let's come together now for the sake of this future, this 2030 vision. How much share did Keshima?
No, as you mentioned, this togetherness. What is preventing, Queen, you think, some of our major entertainers, from getting together and lead by example? Because we can't dispute the pull or entertainers have and how they can influence the world.
Keshima, me not gonna lie. Me earth as an artist, for know say we have when it comes to entertainers at Jamaica have the most, And when it comes to entertainers with influence, when you call one name and check the kind of influence that the one person have around the world, Keshima from Jamaica, And me just want to say to Bounty Killer, seeing Bounty Killer, you're responsible for letting one whole heap of acted artists in the industry, my lord. You're depend on a big mantle, you're depend on a big chair, but examine that chair, the babes. Really and truly, me just see you do a combination with Jashi, and me did really expect you to take a higher ground into it. Me not tell you say enough to be a bad man, because all Jamaican are real bad man for true. See it? And we say original badness, we don't say carelessness, we don't say vulture behavior. Someone did expect the eye to do a better song with Jashi Bunty. Seeing, and this is not being a reggae mother, nor no dancehall mother. Keshima asked the question and I keep it. When you see a youth like him that is becoming so popular but still seem like he's being targeted by the same system that target you guys in behind the scene, who would see you doing wrongs and not tell you, but would big you up and make you look like you're gods. Do a song that tells the youth them we are kill them one another because of them same one and listen Joshua Intense and Massacre and all of the name you call them. You as the ground god, seeing, to tell them to reason it out more. Seeing, tell them to reason it out more. Them listen to the eye them. I mean, I have to call you out because you are the ground god, Bounty Killer. Are you responsible for all? Addy. You understand what I say? Beanie Man, do better than that. Yeah, the girls them sugar. Come tell the girls them say them body is worth a little bit more than for skin out and fling out and dash out and drive them vagina up on the ground. Seeing Spice, yeah, the black goddess where them a try squeeze out and I want to give you run. Come show them say as a ghetto girl, you not only have to skin out and dig out and ray out, but it really and truly do it on a big platform. Use the big corporate entities where endorse you guys and tell them so you want a little bit more than just to be popular. Shensia, you just arrived with the newest and the freshest of them to ride on the scene. John just ride on to come talk about gagging and who can do a better and who show them say you are really an intellectual for true and as much as anybody else around the world can do what them do and still be larded. You guys as well. This is what influence us. This is our music is what influence us. If they give us the platform, they see what we use music to do. Because we don't want it for ourselves alone. We really want to see Jamaica be the place where we can be. This paradise we have we think together. Give you a chance to do it. And the greatest of influencers, if these big products are endorsing our artists and are using them to push their products, is because of the popularity that they have. Use it to help a little bit more in the inner city communities where it matters, in the scheme them, in the rural communities. And don't tell me, say, it just depends on your conscience, Andrew. Your honor, your lord, whatever the title is. Don't tell me, say, just your conscience, it depends. When you have the power to do so much and I do so much with the power where you have, you're going to watch Jamaican people are kill off themselves in them relationship and in them inner city community and go on like you can't do nothing. You don't want the people them to kill out themselves for true. Stop it.
Queen Ifrica. Now, Queen, your foundation, the Queen Ifrica Foundation. Yeah. How do you determine which charities to support or align your brand with, and what are some of the main factors that you consider before making a decision?
Boy, I love your question, Mr. Babes. So when I start the foundation, I say, I just want to do one particular thing. You know, I want if somebody call upon me for whatever reason, I can do it through my foundation without a boundary. And so I was afforded that opportunity because I have the kind of foundation where I can lend through any medium. So now what I'm looking at is who will help, to monetize it up and full it up a cash and full it up a way to full up so that when we start the charities, them real and touchable and it's not just talking because actually we not have the kind of money make a mostly talking me have to do, girl. If me did have the kind of money in my person to the things then what we do with the little where we have Keshima, may I tell you say it wouldn't be like this. It wouldn't be like this. May I tell you, actually we not have that type of money there. May I tell you that. You see me? But we have will and we use our voice in the way it should and we use it with a sincerity and we hope and we sit to say people really say, it's not just talking we are doing it for. We really know fair facts say these predators that run our society, whoever they are, wherever they find themselves, they are very conscious of the fact that the people are suffering and it's only the people pushing back in a unity, no agendas. Just one Jamaica standing up once and for all and saying, do it right or don't do it. That is what we need right now. You see me?
And I know you're giving us a lot of singles now, but are there plans in the pipeline for a new album or an EP? Musically, what you're working on and what we can anticipate?
Yeah, man. I pace myself in a Keshima because you don't know a thing where Rebel always a Garnet still say no matter all the people's choice, they'll be tired to hear your voice. So we place yourself in a music. So you're right. I am working on an album and I'm looking forward to releasing it in the space and just to bring some light because as me say, self-development is the greatest asset you can have and we just want to encourage ones and ones to know that doesn't matter what's happening with you, man. Music and good music and uplifting music is always a tool of deep inner inspiration. And so we're always happy to be a part of that. And you don't know, it's a relationship, man and woman forever. So, you know, love start.
Now, as you mentioned, relationship queen, we know that, you know, as an entertainer, yes, with COVID, there's not much touring or anything now. I see through social media spaces that whether it is TikTok, you and Rebel and the children, you're having a good time. How important is it to have a closely knitted circle or even to have a partner that is absolutely supportive and give you that energy and keep you grounded and inspired?
Well, girl, it's like a piece of gold in a time when none are there. Because no family not have it together. There's no, I want to see the family will come show me say them have it together. But it's when you have it together in your heart. So even if you fight yesterday and quarrel yesterday, today you can talk about it and can say, you know, we have to go try enough to do that, and the siblings them have to go try to do better by themselves, and that kind of something there. If we continue with that, man, because some me run my family. If my youth them now you may set them on their own, because me now about to not fit me have about to me. Me no business about the modern family thing. Believe the way all my grandparents them grow me where certain things you know do and certain boundaries you know cross. We think that's supposed to remain, even if you're creating a modern way of dealing with children. So you will find for enough of us in our 40s then or so, we're having a lot of difficulties. My daughter, 21-year-old, and she know everything already. You know what I mean? But still know anything, you know? Because we, when we are 21 and them age, we need our parents fear. Then we're back on a show where we do. But these kids nowadays, there's a society that's fooling them that they have it all together until them bought them to and come. So, yeah, every family must give up on the methods that you use to try to keep your family together, because it's really the family we pray together, stay together for true.
Wow, you know, Queen, this was an absolutely beautiful reasoning, and to be honest, I could go on and on. It is after 1:30, I will still go. But you know, final question, Queen. Daily we are faced with, you know, challenges that can derail you from success. What advice would you give to the next generation living in the show and tell era of social media?
I was just telling my daughter that she's always done, you know, our TikTok and stuff, and I'm saying to her, one of the things that you guys need to pay attention to is the realities around you. So it's making sure that your room is tidy, that your clothes is clean, and because that's your reality. It doesn't matter how beautiful you look online, and no matter how you're flaunted and carrying on, when you put that gadget down, there's a reality there for you to deal with. And how you deal with that reality will determine even how long you stay in that social space. Because if you're not in a good space within you as a person, then you'll probably end up fading off social media because you're going to be too depressed to pick up the phone, and then nobody will see you. Nobody might even can find you to know what's really happening with you. So my thing is keep it real. I came off social media for 1 year straight, you know. Just say, I'll see you when I see you, because I saw where algorithms was penetrating people in a very deep and negative way, and they weren't even aware that it was the phone companies that was telling them what to click on and what to do and what. And so their natural thought patterns was being pushed aside. And so when I took a break for a year, I could now look on and understand that it's really a social space. And if you're not aware, you end up becoming virtual in your reality, and you can't afford that. There will always be reality for us to face and deal with, you know.
And there is a question on YouTube for you. Kishima, ask Queen Ifrica when she coming back on social media. We miss her.
I said when I came off, you know, I said when I came back, I was going to post differently and I was going to take a different approach. So now I'm in the process of getting that together in terms of turning on the page and everything. So quick time. Me soon they back up. Me ready for the dopey them we are gonna come with them teeth long up. But that's not the objective. The objective is to keep the focus of promoting Jamaica as the real paradise, the paradise where America come try to tell people about, don't come here. Say your program too short. Anyway, we just of who we are as a people. Jamaica is heaven. and God live here for you. And call it them alone now come enjoy down here while we kill out ourselves and look on from the grave. So Jamaica people, please open your eye and pay attention. Them and take our country from where. It's Jamaica land we love, not Jamaica people we love. We need it to be Jamaica people we love.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Jamaica people we love. Queen Ifrica, thank you so much. It was indeed a pleasure. Look, we're going to have to just have a part 2 because having a conversation with you is always raw, real, and we love it.
Take care on the skin also. So me have to go come back.
Yeah, I have to come back to tell me a secret. Thank you so much, Queen Ifrica. Boy, what a journey. Road to success. Here is Queen Ifrica's Predator's Paradise.
As the phoenix rises from the fire, truth will be the only bastion of justice. You hear that? Every day you wake up, it's another one. Another rape, another kill, another con, another outrage, another plan. It's becoming a phenomenon. Culture, they say, tradition, since forever. It's been going on and on and on. Nothing will change, they say. Hey. Talk till it won't dry. Cry if you want cry. You'll still be just go their ways. We're the forgotten ones, piled up in file 13, having a bad dream in a predator's paradise.
And great minds absolutely think alike. When we went on Road to Success, the journey with Nesbeth, he ended his interview the same way. Instead of saying Jamaica land we love, we need to start saying Jamaica people we love. Up to select a princess.
Could you pray for me?
Big up to WhatsApp. Delete says. Big up to Queen Ifrica.
What the hell the police can do? In other words, your outcome will depend on you. Prey becomes predator, the thing get off a road. Frustration and grief, it depend overload. Some of this party shooting at the crowd. How the predator got his hold in a predator's body.